Okay, morning, folks. Bit chilly this morning. 2 degrees on the car thermometer, which is good news. Talk about that in a minute. Just left the chart from midnight tonight on there, just to show this sort of little trough line here, which is probably what went through us late afternoon, 6 o'clock last night, when it was lashing down with rain. Hence the airfield's a bit wet and soggy. But move that on 12 hours. There's a little ridge of high pressure building up that they painted low on here. BBC were talking about this as a ridge of high pressure this morning. And this sort of frontal system creeping towards us very slowly over the next 2 days. With this sort of ridge building, there's some upper cloud just out to the west, but that is beginning to burn back by the looks of it, and you'll see that on the satellite picture. So in there, anybody's guess which way the wind's going to go. The general drift is down through here, light northerly and very light northerly for most of the day. Could swing a little bit northeasterly just towards the end of the day. TAF's suggesting 344 knots from Farnborough and scattered at 4.5, which is good news. That it's probably what cloud base is going to get to. Gatwick just picks up a bit of fog this morning, but nothing significant. As you can see, it's fairly short TAF. And the upper winds, so middle of the country, 350, 360, just light 5 knots. And there's a sort of easterly drift just down in the lower part of the channel here, but I think we're generally in this northerly drift. So what we are is between sort of systems, really. This thin high cloud, all the indications are that it's going to sort of burn back as the day goes on and just sort of move back to the west, and this stuff won't really come towards us. There's bits of rain in Kent at the moment just disappearing off, and this is just fog just clearing. So actually nice bright sunny patch. Temperatures going up quite nicely in here, and temperatures today 14 degrees, I think it's about right, really, over most of the southern half of England, certainly in this area here. By mid-afternoon, it will feel very, very pleasant. Dew points currently sitting between 2 and 3 in this area here. Most airfields are giving those sort of figures, so I think they'll be going down to 0 or 1, somewhere around there. So potential 15-degree temperature split, 14-15 degrees, hence cloud base potentially 4.5 to 5,000 feet. Certainly I would hope 5,000 feet above sea level for the day. So the soundings, that's Lasham area at 1 o'clock, talking probably about cloud base about 3.5, cloud tops somewhere around 5.5, 4 to 6/8 cumulus. And as the afternoon goes on, those lines start to come apart a little bit, and cloud base goes up 4.5, far less cumulus in this area here. Again, the tops won't be that high, so quite shallow cumulus, hopefully at 4.5 to 5,000 feet. And with those sort of temperatures, if you're plugging in sort of 14 degrees here, going up here, it should be 5,000 foot, maybe a little bit more than that. Further north, Bicester, Buckingham area, lines a bit further apart, so less cumulus in that sort of area in the morning, with dew points at about 1 or 2. I think there's very small amounts of cumulus in there at about 3,500 feet, tops at 5. And that certainly shows cumulus 5,000 feet plus, I would have thought, in the afternoon. Top Meteor's picking it up as a bit blue in places. So I think those lines are far enough apart that it could be blue in areas. So what are they showing in terms of cloud? That's sort of 9-10 o'clock as we've got now. No cloud. So certainly by 11 o'clock, we should start to see cumulus. And around Lasham north towards Oxford, they're suggesting there'll be cumulus, but blue north of Oxford. By 1 o'clock, I've certainly seen this before. Top Meteor picks it up as mainly blue, but actually there's cumulus. They don't take into account the fact the ground has got reasonable amount of moisture on it. So I think there is a good chance we're going to have cumulus everywhere over the south of England. I would like to see an actual to see what kind of inversion is sat in there, just to make sure we're not going to get any small areas of spread out developing. And then 3-4 o'clock, cumulus all around here. Thermal heights by 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock. Again, they're suggesting 1,200 meters, so 3,500 feet. Move it on a couple of hours, it's 1,500 meters, 4,500 feet around here, up towards Oxford, and north beyond there. And then at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, well, they're giving 1,700-1,800 meters. So yeah, 5,000 foot plus for later in the afternoon. I think that's probably fairly realistic. SkySight a little bit less optimistic. So Top Meteor's suggested distance and task area. Good round Lasham and up towards the north, really. They're showing it everywhere in the south. I think the southwest will obviously be affected slightly by the upper cloud, but that does seem to be burning back a little bit for today. SkySight picking up, this is 1 o'clock, 1,300 meters going out to the north, and then slightly lower into East Anglia. Move it on a couple of hours, and it's 1,500 meters, 4,500 feet. Certainly in this area out to the north, they're still saying we're 1,300 meters here. So slight variation in how SkySight's interpreting the TEFIs compared to Top Meteor, but it's certainly going to be a pretty reasonable day. Task areas out to the north, northwest will be fine, northeast will be okay. So anywhere north of here looks fine. Down to the south with the northerly winds, it should be okay. Down in this area here, interesting potential for sea breeze and convergence down to the south. Okay, so airspace, lots of blobs on the map, but really only two things of relevance. These are all paragliding activity. Around here, there's paragliding at Little Granston. Number 22, just west of the Benson ATZ. They've got parachute operations. And I've spoken to them this morning. They've already done one jump, and they're anticipating doing 1 per hour during the day. So if you're going past, give them a call on 119 450. We need to keep an eye on this, because I hope this isn't going to turn out to be something that's going to develop into a permanent parachute site. The NOTAM has been extended. It was up to the 7th. It's now been extended up to the 20th. So we need to find out what this activity actually is. And Little Risington ATZ has been activated today, all day from 8 o'clock this morning. And that's really about it in the southeast. quite quiet all the way up around here. Lots of paragliding though. Operationally, we're going to go on 2.7, folks. Obviously, the ground is soggy. I don't really fancy a grid down through. It's going to be pretty soft, and it's will cut up really, really easily. Hopefully, with a drying day today, tomorrow, and sort of Sunday, we should be able to have a grid on the grass. We'll take a look at it, but we're going to operate on the runway. Launch point will be about here. It'll be a standard launch point operation with gliders on the south side, grass here, cables on the south side. And just bring your glider to the runway. If you want to form a grid back here, absolutely fine. And then when it's good to go, we'll launch it. We've got 4 tugs, so launching will be fairly quick, and hopefully we'll get you away. I'm keeping an eye on the wind because the forecast is later in the afternoon for it to swing a little bit more northeasterly. So it may be that by the time you get back, we have swapped onto 09. Give us a call. One last thing, there's a 737 inbound. Current estimated time is 14:15, but these inbounds tend to change. So just be aware if you're off flying. Give us a call. We'll let you know what the status of the airfield is. Okay, folks. Soggy parts of the airfield, yeah, down to the south with the rain we've had. This area here won't have dried out. If you do land down there, it's going to be a bit soft, and there will be some odd soft patches here. Pop it on the runway, and we'll launch you when we can. Okay, folks, and we'll see you out there.